We're here at Nido di Seta in San Floro in the Calabria region of South Italy. And we've just spent 2 really incredible days learning all about the process of making silk. One of the things that's been really special about the opportunity to do this is that we've been able to start at the very beginning, seeing how the mulberry trees are growing the bushes in the local countryside, going to see the actual silkworms from the eggs growing all up into the stage where they, after they've eaten a lot of mulberry leaves, turn into, they spin their own cocoons. We've been able to witness every stage of this process, and then we've taken the cocoons and experienced silk reeling, which is the traditional way of extracting the thread that makes the silk that you and I are so familiar with, the sort of shiny, soft, bouncy, lustrous silk that was so fashionable and popular and important in the early modern period all across Europe, but particularly here in Italy, to make some of the finest and most luxurious textiles. What has been so incredible for us here is that they do the process in as traditional a way as they possibly can. So they're working land that has been used for growing mulberries for a long, long time in a region that has been producing silk for hundreds of years. And in order to set up this school and workshop space, they talked to the older people in the villages to ask them about the processes. And here they do everything by hand. So they've made their own tools and they have tried to replicate the most traditional ways from the past. So we've had the opportunity to try silk reeling, but we've also done other techniques that would probably have been familiar to many of the artisans that we're studying in the Refashioning the Renaissance project. These are things like using raw silk, waste silk, and really the very ends of the cocoons when the finest silk has already been made and extracted. We know that our artisans were not always able to afford, or legally were always allowed to wear these finest silks, but they had really innovative ways of making sure that they used all of the material. And even today here, there's zero waste, just like they would have been in the 16th and 17th centuries. So we've been today extracting silk that we call filaticcio. They called that in our archival sources. And this is where you use the very ends of the cocoons, having done the reeling process for the fine silks. And this incorporates the very shell of the cocoon itself. And is a really magical process where you take the very ends and spin it out just in your hands, twisting it into a thread. We've also made sort of nets of the broken cocoons, so if the moths get to the stage where they've managed to eat their way out and broken the single thread that makes the cocoon, you can still use that. You can make, you can spin it actually and twist it into a thread, having made a net. And so what all of these processes have really taught us is how to value the skills and the innovations of the craftspeople that we study in this period. How many steps are involved, how much time, the kinds of techniques and negotiations that the craftspeople had to make, and what a diverse range of effects you can get from silk just by changing little bits about the way you're working with it or which cocoons you select. So this has been a really unique experience, and I think it's going to help us very much as we move forward with the Refashioning the Renaissance project to discover more and more about the clothing of people every day in the early modern period.